In this video, we will talk about top 10 famous bank robberies around world, so make sure to watch the full video. Bank robberies have fascinated the public for decades, with some heists becoming infamous due to their audacity, scale, and clever execution. From high-profile criminals to meticulous planning, these robberies showcase the lengths to which thieves will go for wealth. Here are 10 of the most famous bank robberies from around the world. 1. The Great Train Robbery, 1963. The Great Train Robbery, one of the most famous heists in British history, occurred in August 1963, when a gang of 15 robbers meticulously planned and executed the theft of £2.6 million, equivalent to around £50 million today, from a Royal Mail train travelling from Glasgow to London. The criminals used inside information, brilliant timing, and meticulous planning to stop the train, overpower the crew, and make off with the money. Despite their careful planning, many of the gang members were eventually caught, but the robbery remains a symbol of audacity and cunning. This robbery inspired numerous films and books, cementing its place in the history of high-profile bank and train heists. 2. The Banco Central Burglary, 2005. In 2005, a group of Brazilian criminals carried out one of the most audacious bank robberies in history, the Banco Central Burglary in Fortaleza, Brazil. Over the course of 3 months, the robbers dug a tunnel from a rented house directly into the bank's vault, bypassing all security measures. Once inside, they made off with an estimated $70 million in cash, one of the largest thefts ever recorded. The criminals, posing as construction workers, spent weeks digging the tunnel unnoticed, highlighting the meticulous nature of the operation. While some of the thieves were eventually caught, most of the stolen money was never recovered, making this robbery one of the most legendary in modern criminal history. 3. The Antwerp Diamond Heist, 2003. The Antwerp Diamond Heist of 2003 remains one of the most extraordinary and sophisticated crimes ever committed. Thieves infiltrated the Antwerp Diamond Center, a building that housed a vault with the world's most valuable diamonds. Over the course of 2 days, the robbers bypassed multiple layers of high-tech security, including motion detectors, cameras, and alarms. Incredibly, they made off with around $100 million worth of diamonds, gold, and other gems. The operation was carried out with such precision that it seemed almost flawless. Despite the heavy security measures, the thieves had somehow managed to gain access to the vault using brute force and expert knowledge. Though some of the robbers were eventually captured, much of the stolen loot remains unaccounted for. 4. The Banco de la República Heist, 1994. In 1994, a daring group of criminals pulled off a massive robbery at the Banco de la República in Colombia, stealing over $24 million. The heist was particularly brazen, as the thieves managed to infiltrate one of the most secure facilities in the country, which housed both the national bank's cash and Colombia's central bank reserves. The robbers used a sophisticated plan involving stolen uniforms, false identities, and a series of distractions. Despite an extensive investigation, only a fraction of the money was recovered, and the case remains one of Colombia's most notorious unsolved crimes. This robbery highlighted the growing risks posed by organized crime and the vulnerability of even the most secure financial institutions. 5. The Northern Bank Robbery, 2004. In December 2004, the Northern Bank Robbery in Belfast, Northern Ireland, stunned the world with its scale and precision. A gang of thieves orchestrated the heist by kidnapping the families of bank officials, forcing them to comply with the robbers' demands. The criminals then made off with £26.5 million, one of the largest sums ever stolen in the UK. Despite the elaborate planning and use of insider knowledge, the gang's success was short-lived. The crime was linked to members of the Provisional IRA, and many of the thieves were eventually apprehended. The Northern Bank Robbery remains infamous due to its shocking use of intimidation and its impact on the financial community in Northern Ireland. 6. The Loomis Fargo Heist, 1997. The Loomis Fargo Heist of 1997 was an inside job that turned into one of the largest cash robberies in U.S. history. A group of employees working for the Loomis Fargo Armored Truck Company, including vault supervisor David Gaunt, orchestrated the theft of $17.3 million from the company's vault in North Carolina. Gaunt worked with several accomplices to steal the money, making off with the haul and fleeing to Mexico. The robbery's dramatic nature and the fact that it was an inside job made it a major media story. While most of the stolen money was recovered, Gaunt and some of his conspirators were arrested, revealing how trust can be exploited from within a company. 7. The 1952 Great Canadian Bank Robbery. The 1952 Great Canadian Bank Robbery was a bold heist that occurred in Toronto, Canada. A group of criminals used dynamite to blow open the vault of the Dominion Bank, stealing $5 million, a staggering amount for the time. The robbery was particularly infamous due to the extreme methods employed by the thieves, using explosives to gain access to a heavily secured vault. Despite the violent nature of the crime, the criminals were careful in their planning, and the robbery was executed with precision. The Canadian police eventually caught several of the perpetrators, but the robbery remains one of the largest and most audacious crimes in Canada's history, illustrating the lengths to which criminals would go to acquire vast sums of money. 8. The Bank of America heist, 1997. The Bank of America heist in 1997 took place in the heart of California, where a group of criminals orchestrated an elaborate robbery at a well-secured branch. The robbers managed to steal $8.7 million in cash and valuables, carefully bypassing security measures such as alarms, cameras, and motion detectors. The robbery was particularly notorious for the criminals' high level of organization and the minimal use of violence, making it one of the most sophisticated robberies in U.S. history. The case captured the attention of law enforcement and the media, and although several of the criminals were eventually caught, the case remains a chilling reminder of the ease with which skilled criminals can target high-profile banks. 9. The Banco Nacional de Mexico heist, 2004. The Banco Nacional de Mexico heist in 2004 was one of the most daring robberies ever committed in Mexico. A group of criminals managed to infiltrate one of the country's largest and most secure banks, making off with more than $30 million. The thieves used sophisticated tools and inside information to bypass the vault's security system, including alarms and surveillance cameras. The crime was part of a larger wave of bank robberies in the country, raising concerns about the effectiveness of security measures. Despite a significant investigation, much of the stolen money was never recovered, and the criminals behind the heist were never fully identified, making it one of Mexico's most infamous and elusive robberies. 10. The Hollywood Bank heist, 1997. The Hollywood Bank heist, which took place in Los Angeles, California, in 1997, is one of the most dramatic robberies in U.S. history. A group of heavily armed robbers staged a brazen attack on a Bank of America branch, taking off with over $10 million in cash. The robbers used high-powered weaponry, wearing body armor and masks to disguise their identities. As the heist unfolded, a massive police response was triggered, leading to a dramatic shootout that ended in the death of 2 of the robbers and the capture of others. The heist, which involved extraordinary planning and firepower, remains one of the most well-known bank robberies in Hollywood's history, inspiring numerous films and documentaries. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.